the fifth kind. In the book of Genesis, we're told that the Elohim, the powerful ones, arrive over the dark flood waters of the planet in a Ruach. The word Ruach is popularly translated as the Spirit of God, and in later texts in the Bible, it appears to be used in that way. In its first mention in Genesis, the text specifies that the Ruach was hovering. The word for hovering, melahephet, is the word the Bible uses to describe how birds of prey hover in the sky, appearing to float in the air without moving their wings. This is what the powerful one's Ruach was doing. It was hovering in the sky without moving any wings. The Filipino narrative speaks about Tagalog, the hawk, hovering over the waters and with its wings creating vortices of wind to clear dry land. And so there's a really interesting note here in Genesis that talks about this Ruach, which is hovering like a hawk. I wonder if there's a connection there. There is another connection in the word itself. Mauro Biglino is a scholar of ancient Hebrew. For many years, he worked for the St. Paul Press in Rome, translating with great precision the literal meaning of Hebrew words for Vatican-approved interlinear Bibles. Providing the interlinear meaning is a very exact discipline. The scholar must be rigorous in avoiding any kind of interpretation of the word, and give only the literal etymological meaning of each word part. So it is with that degree of precision that Mauro Biglino explains in his writings that the use of the word Ruach in Hebrew literature shows that the word means either a wind or something flying through the air and creating a strong wind. This meaning has survived to this day in the Ethiopian Amharic word roha. It means a fan or anything that moves through the air and creates a wind. What could this wind-making Ruach possibly be? So just like the mysterious forces in the Sumerian narrative, just like Tagalog the hawk in the Filipino narrative, what we have here is a story of strong winds, vortices of wind, being used to terraform the planet. The winds are being created by a Ruach. So what is that Ruach? Mauro Biglino argues that Ruach is a craft. Mauro Biglino asked the question of how this word would have been written in primitive cuneiform script. Broken into two phonemes, two elements emerge. One element is that of a body of water, and the second element is of something hovering over the water. It looks like an eye from some points of view, but to the modern eye, it's very difficult not to perceive it as a flying saucer hovering over a body of water. In primitive cuneiform, a flying saucer hovering over a body of water is pronounced Ruach, and the writers remember that it created a strong vortex of wind used in terraforming the planet. Now, it's fair to say that not every scholar agrees with that interpretation of Ruach, but in actual fact, the word's meaning is confirmed if we go further into the Bible, into the stories of Moses and Ezekiel. Ezekiel speaks about a Ruach, which picked him up and took him on journeys around ancient Iraq, flying in the sky. He describes how this Ruach appeared in the sky, how it landed, what it looked like, the materials it was made of, and what kind of wheels it had. And the precision with which Ezekiel describes this craft, this Ruach, is so great that NASA actually has a patent on those wheels. It was granted in 1974 to Joseph Blomrich. It's called the omnidirectional wheel. Now, those who want to translate Ruach as the Spirit or Spirit of God have a bit of a problem here. How can NASA have a patent on the Spirit of God? NASA has a patent on ancient technology described in great detail in the Bible. It was in 1974 that Joseph Blumrich, as NASA's Chief of Advanced Structural Development, was able to obtain a patent for the omnidirectional wheel described in the book of Ezekiel. The patent, US 3789947A, was issued on February the 5th of 1974 and is used by NASA to this day. Sanskrit texts from the ancient Indian world of the Vedas have no embarrassment in describing the Vimanas in their ancient stories in technological terms. The fifth kind. Click on the links in the description to watch the full video.
Author and researcher Paul Wallace probes the world's ancient mythologies for clues about the origins of the human race, and has published several books in the field of mysticism and spirituality. In the last decade, his work has probed the world's ancient mythologies for the insights they hold on our origins as a species and our potential as human beings. Paul's work in church ministry has included training pastors in the interpretation of biblical texts, working as a troubleshooter for communities of faith, and serving as an archdeacon in the Anglican Church in Australia. His background as a senior churchman makes it all the more surprising that Paul's latest book argues that human origins lie in our prehistoric contact with extraterrestrial species. You can find out more information and links to Paul Wallace in the description below, along with links to his published works.